Hey, it's Chris here. I'm going to try to do this on the wide screen instead of the usual portrait style. I'm going to show you what I did to wire a little LED strip into my grill to make it light up, and then I will show you at the end what it looks like. I'm going to try to do this in one shot, so hopefully it works out. I'm not a fan of cutting, so I try to keep that to a minimum. In this case, I had to drill 2 little holes for supports for the little LED strip just as a precaution, but it's nothing major. I'm going to show you what I took off and where I wired it to, including the fuse I did and why. So starting here, of course, if you have the hood open, you are going to need to take off this shield that's over the radiator, and it has 6 little holes with little push pins in it, and those look like, let's see if I focus here, that looks like this. So what you want to do, just to be sure you don't drop them by accident and get all mad at yourself, I use this to kind of pry up from the base, and then I use a little Phillips to turn, and it kind of will pop out a little bit. Then you can kind of push the rest of the way, and then I set them someplace where I know I won't, lose them. There should be 6 altogether. I actually have all 6 right here, so I know I'm not missing any. And once you do that, you're gonna reach in, you're gonna lift this up here, and it's gonna you gotta kind of finagle this thing out a little bit. And you might discover something like I did on one of my other videos. I discovered that there was a water bottle crushed up and stored right into here by the last Jaguar dealership mechanic, who I guess closed this up and didn't realize he left a water bottle in there. So that was kind of a little disappointing. But anyway, so here, you're gonna see I have a ground wire, and on this particular kit, it does matter. That little white wire with the gray on it, that is the positive, and then the solid white is gonna be your ground. I just put it to this bolt right here. I tested everything before, closing everything up and tightening it down, make sure I didn't short anything or cause any problems or codes to come off on the engine, and so they didn't, so that's good. And then these little, you should have 4 of them on this side. This is where the little box is going to be for taking all this stuff off. So whoops, and I just lost one of those things. Well, I just did what I didn't want to do, but I'll recover that later. So that will come off, and I'll put this someplace where I won't step on it, hopefully. And this is the fuse box that I went through. So when you open this up, you're going to have a few different things in there. What I did was I kind of cut a little bit of a notch in here just to let this wire fit through, but I kind of want to redo it because now that I look at it, it's not really that much and it's pinching a little more than I'd like. But I'm wiring this to fuse it's the 4th one down on the far right here. And what this does go to, from what I looked up, it is the electronic water pump fuse. So this is a little 10 amp fuse. This can take up to 12 volts. So really, I think it's fine. No problems at all so far. I was driving around with it. Some of these are actually a little loose. That's a little concerning. But after running that through here, I kind of just used some little zips to hold it down in places so it doesn't get pinched or move around too much. And I ran it down through here under the headlight. And then it comes with 2 connectors, and I cut the wires off the end because I combined them together and used the extra wire to lengthen this one by putting these little terminal connectors, which seal pretty good and work pretty nice without having to do too much work. So that's how I made that longer. You can use whatever you need to do that. And then I ran it over these components, nothing that gets too hot. Comes right over here past the latching system. And then you'll see that I kind of tied it here. Now some of these are for those push pins, but if you have a tiny little zip, it leaves enough room to put the push pins back in, so you don't have to worry too much about that. And then I run it under here, and I have it all stuck under here, and I'll try to get you a good shot of it here in a second. This is where I drilled 2 little holes right here. This feels like plastic because of the plastic that's attached to it when you touch it, but it's actually metal. So when you drill 2 little holes through here, you're going to get some metal shavings. Just be careful. And it's stuck underneath the underside, and it's from about here to about here. I kind of wish it was a little bit brighter and I had gotten a bigger one, but I'm not going to tear all this back out just to do that again. But it's actually shining downward, but it actually comes out nicely through this front main grill and a little bit on the very bottom, which is what I want. And it's just kind of something different from stock. And what I'll do is I'm going to try to get in there and show you, hopefully, what it looks like in the position where it's at without dropping my phone. Should see right there. So that's the little LED strip. And it has double-sided sticky tape on it. But what I did is I went ahead and I removed I stuck some real 3M double-sided sticky stuff on top of the other double-sided sticky tape to get it stronger, and then I use those zips as a backup in case it comes loose. It doesn't fall inside the radiator, melt or something. But that's kind of how I did that. So while I have all that in together here, I'm going to go ahead and start the car up and kind of give you a shot of what it looks like. I would love to close my garage and turn off the lights and run my car, but I don't want to die, so I'm going to go ahead and just do it here and show you what it looks like during the day. And hopefully it lets me start it without any problems since I have the hood open. Go ahead and turn off the headlights just to get a better idea of what it looks like. So the headlights are probably stuck on auto right now. We'll do this real quick. There you go. So that's what it looks like with all the lights off. So that's pretty much it. I will put I'll put the link. I will put the link to it there, and then go ahead and anyone has any questions, let me know. But that's pretty much it, and then put everything back together, and you're good to go.